So there's some top tips, which are a few of them I've been thinking about to support businesses in recruitment moving forward post reintegration. As we mentioned, there are industries that are going to suffer, but there are other industries that are going to flourish. And either way you look at it, you need to focus on the people within the business. And effectively, a recruitment strategy needs to be changed because we are in a different change in business environment now. First of all, if you are not looking after the staff and you have to replace an employee, it could cost £25,000 to £50,000 on the cost of recruitment fees or induction, learning and development. So the main thing is to actually look after the employees within the business. And it may even be looking at now succession planning, promotions, or enhanced benefits. Like I said to you earlier, I did a survey with a UK leading public sector business, over 600 million turnover. And one way they actually looked at retaining their staff further were by providing them promotional opportunities. So for the investment in the staff, they are likely to stay longer within the business. I know you could probably comment on promotions and investment in staff, Tim, from what you do at Team I.
Yeah, I think it's very important, as well as people knowing what their role is, which is hugely important for engagement. People knowing what their development is equally as important.
So adapting a recruitment process within a business. I've mentioned some statistics on time frame to hire, why it's important to look after the candidate experience during the process and the impact it could have if they haven't, been engaged with and look to be hired within a certain period of time. So adapting a recruitment process could be looking at, okay, so how many CVs should individuals shortlist now? Maybe changing the criteria they need to look at while sifting through CVs, especially if there's a higher volume of CVs being received due to an influx in the candidate pool. How many stages to a recruitment process? So we could, before some interview processes I've been with, it's been, 3 to 4 stages and 3 to 6 months. And that takes a long time. The recruitment market and the candidate market is going to be changing dramatically now post COVID-19. So it might be that there are less assessments, or there could be an additional presentation, but it might be more video conferencing calls with all the decision makers at once to actually try and build the rapport and understanding with a candidate to see if they are the right person for the job. What's your thoughts on, because we know 93% of communication is non-verbal. What's your thoughts, Tim, on communicating over video conferencing now during a recruitment process where you can't have the same face-to-face interaction as you would have done before?
I think it augments a face-to-face meeting. I think it's a really good idea. I've personally been involved with them myself, and I found them very, very useful, both as a candidate and as a recruiter. I think it helps in that early process of working through and shortlisting, but then as you progress through the recruitment process, I think you've absolutely got to see people face to face. And if you can get them to integrate with the team, then so much the better.
It's an interesting point. So we mostly talk about having video conferences with all the decision makers to speed up the recruitment process. When I would hire for my team in my recruitment company, I would make sure that I introduce the team to the candidate during the interview process. So it might be that businesses look at, okay, so how can we also bring employees onto a potential interview process to see the candidate, to talk to the candidate, engage with the candidate before the hiring. So that is a good point. Once you've actually looked at recruiting staff, it's actually the onboarding process and retaining the staff. So there is an interesting survey done by Gallup last year, and the average time for a millennial staying in the job is actually only 7 months at this present time, which is a worrying statistic. So you spent all that money and time hiring someone, going through the recruitment process and offer stages, and some individuals may leave. So it's for businesses to actually focus on what happens next. The recruitment process isn't just we've hired someone, it's the initial stage right to the very first day. We've had a live radio show on this before, the first day is absolutely vital. The onboarding process, the engagement within staff, especially during social isolation, and how an employee can be engaged throughout the time there. And I actually think a good point to mention is businesses should maybe look at referral reward schemes for recruitment process. If someone's in the business and they're doing fantastically well already, go to them and say, do you know anyone who could also join this business? Like-minded individuals, because that's going to help with driving the right people they need in the right roles in the business moving forward. So a final point, at this point in time, we talked about, the future of recruitment, and businesses need to start doing that now, because it may only be, a couple more months of social isolation, and business need to adapt very quickly past this. So creating talent attraction campaigns, I think, is vital. Have you have any thoughts on talent attraction campaigns from your MD roles in previous businesses, Tim?
The number one key driver of recruitment for me is know the person. So either referrals, or if not, make sure you spend sufficient time really getting to understand the person. Recruitment is people first, skills and knowledge second.
Yeah, okay, a brilliant point there. And I think we're talking about what it is that people will say also about the business. So in businesses actually need to now focus on, okay, we need to start marketing or advertising what our current employers are actually saying about our business for other candidates to join them. And, then it's not only about the businesses knowing the candidates, but it's about the candidates knowing the business. So a few ways that businesses can already do this is for employee to do reviews on Glassdoor. It's a very useful platform. When looking at a couple of sites, Trustpilot and G2, 92% of people purchase based on reviews. So this is more of a product or service buy, but it's the same for looking at new businesses to join. What the reviews will say about the company will actually help with the emotional side of the buy-in, which is about 90%. I know a business that does employee engagement software, so it's actually getting real-time feedback of what the employees are saying about the business. So then this can be marketed over social media, engaging with new candidates during the recruitment process. And I think final points are really looking at your platforms you have already about the company. So on your website, have you got reviews, like I just said, employee reviews? Have you got employee bios? So new candidates looking for a job or being approached by a company to work for them or agencies, they can see who's in the business, what their passion and values for are working for that company. And promo videos are probably actually quite useful at this point in time. And why should a candidate join a business, what it is the business is providing to society. And nowadays, whether it's a business flourishing or not doing as well, but I think is about, the impact a business is going to actually have on society is going to really draw candidates to working for that business. Any other top tips you have on the recruitment process and changes, Tim?
I think you made a really good summary there, Jamie. Remember that when you're attracting talent into your organisation, it's not just about you wanting them, they've got to want you as well. So I think those last key points are very, very important, and you do need to make sure that you promote your business effectively so that people understand you're a good employer, and of course make sure you are a good employer by doing what you say you do.
Yeah, the final point is that there has been a shift in the recruitment market. It used to be businesses being able to find candidates and candidates having to pitch to them, and now it predominantly could be the other way around, that businesses now need to find the candidates who are right for the business, and they need to be pitching the business to these candidates for them to actually want to join them, because there are going to be a lot more candidates and a lot less business opportunities, so candidates may have a pick of where they want to work for. So for businesses, the advice out there is look at the strategy for recruitment and look at how you are promoting your business to attract the talent you need to continue driving your business moving forward in the future.